It's hard to tell with that peeking. Who are you peeking at? It's surrounding me. There. I made a mistake on my other channel. I thought I'd flex my Samsung muscles and be like, alright, look at this. And I was like, okay, I'm going to manually focus. And I saw the peeking. I was like, okay, as soon as it hits the eyes, that's when you stop, and then everything else, it'll fall off into blur town. That was a lie. Nothing was in focus here. The peeking has to engulf your entire head. So we're on the Laowa, the little Laowa that could. I want to do a couple tests today. Is this the greatest lens? Because on paper, this would be it. This would be the system for vlogging. G9, 10-bit glory, tiny little lightweight, wide-angle lens. It's got to be it, right? But then you see some warpy things happening. Can we fix it? I think we can.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
I tell you, I've been dreaming about this lens at my first inception. When my dad first... No, let's not go back that far. But as soon as I heard of this lens, I was like, look at that. Super wide, but also some Toneh. Is there Toneh back there? Toneh too? You can do it. I'm gonna get right on in. It is manually focusing. Toneh. Look at the Toneh. I think the sweet spot is stopping it down to Toneh 5.6, and then you get this kind of situation where your GoPro, like in its abilities, are they waving? They have the virus. Why is it snowing? It's June. It's not June, but in my heart it is. Why? So first thing I want to test, I have a feeling that turning off the IBIS is going to be even more stable. I think I should have just brought the GH5s. I might. Oh, I'm going to do it next time. Now we got no IBIS on whatsoever. Is it better? Because it should no longer do the warpy stuff, but there might be micro jitters. So is this doable? And what if we turn on only digital and no IBIS? Now we have only digital stab on. Is that phenomenal? It crops in a little bit, but we're so far away anyway. Oh, I'm not walking right. We good on this mode? Which has been the best? There's one more. Image stabilization lock mode. I have no idea what that's going to do, if I'm even allowed to use it. Let's try. Okay, lock mode is on. Is it locked? What does that even mean? It's like tripod mode? Is it the best? Alright, last test before we go home. I want to see this thing on the GH5s with its even wider image. We have, right now, all stabilization modes on. IBIS, digital, and this image stabilization lock mode, which nobody knows what it does. Is it amazing? Does this look like a tripod? Even when I'm walking? A walking tripod? I could use that. I'm just curious, but is heaven vlogging good? If you vlog in heaven? I think so. Wow. There's so much we don't notice up there. UFOs. Man-made UFOs. Using UFO technology. Let's just move on. Holy cow. Look at that wideness. That's insane. The thing is right here. I just have the Rode Micro on top of the camera. But I have a backup plan. Take that, life. So I've had a chance to look at the footage. It's a little warpy. There's just no getting around it. Panasonic doesn't know how to implement digital stabilization, whereas Olympus does. Like, Olympus has amazing IBIS, and whatever little mistakes it has, it fixes with the digital. Whereas Panasonic, I think easily they have the worst digital stability of the bunch. Even Canon surpasses them. It does nothing. It only makes things worse. That's not a good solution. So, like, I've noticed it in the little Sony X3000. Without the digital stab, it's actually not very stable. It's pretty rocky. But then you put the digital on, it corrects it quite well. We don't have that option here. It's such a fun wide lens. So wide, and so tonish, and so light. It's not super terrible, but it is kind of distracting if you're looking for it. Like, only filmmakers look in the corners. Like, look over here, asshole. Who cares what's wiggling over here? But we nitpick. It's like, oh, look at that. Overexposed the clouds, did he? Amateur. It's like, we shouldn't be paying attention to that kind of stuff. It's like people who watch movies. Oh, look at the lighting on that. Get a day job, you daydreaming ass. This lens, what you're looking at right now, is a 13.5mm lens. That's so funny that you could be that close to something. I'm right there. I'm literally touching it with my nose. I've reached perfection. This is it. There's blurred background, so this is a good shot. And my nose is 15 to 75% of the frame. I think the Leica 18, ow, my ribs. The 8 to 18 seemed to perform a little better on the G9 walking around. Had slightly less warpy stuff, but it still had it. Maybe the weight of it helped. Phenomenal lens, but both of them, they're so fun. Which one would I buy right now if we had to choose a vlogging lens? I can't choose. I figure we gotta try the Leica lens since I have it. So we'll do a little side by side. Leica at 8mm, 2.8 versus the Laowa guy. And he can't even autofocus. What a loser. Oh, I ruined the test. Still, but the versatility, I used to think, nah, that don't matter. What matters? Completely changing the shot. There's a box on the eagle. Stop it, Tennyson. Don't even look at him. Where's the Toneh? Oh, it's Toneh 8 equivalent. There it is. This is the shot. That's the money shot. Let me bring some common sense to you. If you're thinking the f2 is amazing and that's why you want this, just stop yourself right now. The blur is not that great. It's there, but you don't even want it. You're gonna want to stop this down to 4. So it's like, don't buy it for that reason, but it's so much lighter than that and cheaper. But then you got the zoom of this. 36mm. 16 to 36. That's pretty phenomenal. I'll do a little test this versus the EOS R. We'll do another lens stabilization versus IBIS on this. I have a feeling Canon's gonna win that battle. But once you go past 12, 14, 15 mils, the IBIS superiority kicks in. I'm starting to appreciate the zoom outside though. When you want to zoom in on something, it's like, that's nice to be able to do like a slow motion super zoom with the 12. That's not even it. Oh, it's on the G9. I protected my sensor with this lens. I can only imagine 120 mils on the long. That's what she said. You know what I mean? Slow motion, 180 frames per second, 120 mil, you could capture stuff. But it's a fun lens. It's a fun lens, I must admit. The wideness is freaky. I'll have to test it on the Olympus M43, and then we'll see, does digital stave fix everything? If then, imagine that, the body's only like 450 grams. This is another 180, 190. It says 170 on the site. That's a lie. It's like 194 or something, 184. Don't quote me on any of that. But the fact remains true on Panasonic cameras, you can't go too wide or it gets weird. And I think we'll test out the 12 to 60 with its lens stave. I've never done a dual stave, so we'll try that next. But I think that's it. What do you think? Is it the best lens you've ever seen? Worst? How dare you?
still, it's fun. It's a fun lens. How's the audio? I'm going to leave. Thanks for buying a Camera Conspiracies t-shirt. Subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you in the next one.